I can't say that I would do anything different. I just can't. Because at that moment, my convictions, you know, were, my convictions are my convictions. And I respect everybody's opinion, you know, on the overall picture. But
because
still.
If I was there.
Yeah.
If I had been there.
Yeah.
I may have been crossing that line with you. So I'm just kind of wondering, what can we do as a people to ensure that these actions that we take have some kind of an effect? And I'm wondering if you've thought about that, or if any of you have any opinion about taking that day over again, or taking a future day and a future situation.
The last point on that is basically for me is that Canadian law says this guy's a war criminal. He's a currently accused war criminal. He doesn't belong in Canada. And he's being, in Spain, is looking to bring up charges on the Bush lawyers. The CIA in Italy can be arrested for 23 agents for illegally abducting Muslim men and taking them off to clandestine flights for torture. And subsequently, many people died in these torture camps, Abu Ghraib, Bagram, and Guantanamo Bay. So the point is, I can't allow tyranny to continue to unfold as I see it in my presence without attempting to find some avenue to arrest these war criminals. That's I would do it again.
I just would like to say that in a way, by you asking us, we've been working pretty hard on this. And I would sort of ask Calgary, I would ask the faculty at the University of Calgary. I mean, I would put the question in a broader sense. Like, here we are at the University of Calgary. I'd like to meet some colleagues. I know I talked to this gentleman last time in Cynthia McKinney. You know, there's thousands of professors employed here. We have a really world-renowned figure who is 82 now and doing out and about, traveling all over the world. And so in a certain sense, I think the question that you're asking us could be deflected to other places. The people who are in the room here today are in the room here today, and we've been through with Peggy and others, you know, many rounds on this. But it's the people who are not in the room, and it's the millions of people who are facing the same moral dilemmas that we are, and the same moral tragedy of our time. This is the question. The woman from APTN, Aboriginal People's Television Network. For those in England may not be aware that in Canada we're very proud that we have a network, a national network devoted to telling news about and from and concerning Indigenous peoples in Canada and around the world. I've been at the headquarters in Winnipeg. I know it grows out of Inuit Broadcasting Corporation, and I've watched it over the years. So welcome to APTN and that great constituency of activists that the three of us have in different ways devoted a lot of our political energies to the situation of Indigenous peoples in North America and around the world. I'm sorry, you're from APTN, and can you, I think you're from the media, and this man I said would be next, Peggy, but since we're talking about the media, could you identify yourself and if you have a question?
I do have a question, but not as an employee of APTN, just as a personal citizen, so I'd like to make that absolutely clear. My question is, George W. Bush is particularly vilified and hated, but really he's the amount of people that are dead as a result of him, and even if you only look at the Trade Center, which you consider him responsible for, really the real criminals are his father, possibly, and the people before them that set the stage for this. So is there a possibility that Bush is kind of the least important member of this cabal, as you called him, to go after? Why not Dick Cheney and Rumsfeld? You know, why not try and do a citizen's arrest on them? Why so much focus on Bush? My personal theory is I judges are more complicated people, so just wondering about that.
Well, I've highly concentrated on Dick Cheney, definitely as the brains behind the Bush administration, no question about it. And I have gone after him in terms of what I put on my website, splittingthesky.net. I've definitely zeroed in on Dick Cheney, being at the helm of many things.
Let me say a few things about that. The reason to prosecute is to instate the rule of law as to the government. And if you indict the president, the next president will be careful, won't he?
Yeah.
The next president won't do that. And we have to be careful about hatred.
But he's really not the brains of the operation. He's just a figure.
Well, he was the president, and he is the one that has the power to make the decision. He may be influenced by others. He may be a decent guy. And we have to be careful about hatred. I think hatred is one of our problems. That's a weakness, and it destroys a movement. The first night of the March of Selma Montgomery was terrifying because you had 50 people marching in Lowndes County, which the saying there was, "Don't let the sun go down on your nigger" in Lowndes County. And we had the first farmer, they scared him, and he wouldn't let us stay on his land, so we had to find some state land, and the state couldn't kick us off. We had troops. And it looked like the Civil War. We had built fires around and sentries around, and everybody was up and shattered and scared. And Martin Luther King, he came up to me and said, "You must never hate." We had a conversation about hatred. He said, because hatred will corrupt your soul and destroy your effectiveness as a human being. It'll make you should never be afraid, because if you're afraid, you'll hate the cause of your fear. And the same thing will happen. So I don't think it helps to hate Dick Cheney, as bad as he is. Pity him, but if you convict the President of the United States for wars of aggression, you make it very difficult for another president, whatever his advisors are, however influential they may be with him, if he has any sense of self-preservation, to commit a war of aggression.
Yes, sir.
Standing in the sky, we wish you all the very best. My name is Larry Negre. I'm a member of the Calgary Cuban Friendship Association here in Calgary. French organization nationally and better across Canada, and very much so in the U.S. My question is directed to Mr. Clark. Mr. Clark, what is your opinion and thoughts on the injustices handed down to the Cuban Five by the court in Miami? I'm sure you're...
You all know the case of Cuban Five. Poor President Kennedy was, I think, duped into approving the Bay of Pigs disaster. I remember I wrote a note that night when I heard about it. It said, "The best judgment in the world has no advantage over the worst if it's ignorant of the facts." It's my interpretation that he didn't know what was happening. I still believe it. But we have to realize that our country has been instigating serious violence regularly in Cuba. People get killed from it. And to try to prevent that violence is an act of self-defense or self-preservation. There were 5 Cubans who were up here who were trying to intercept plans that were being made by different